Uno, dos, tres. Uno, dos, tres. Uno, dos, tres. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. It is truly an honor to be here with climate leaders in Climate Championship, um, and also to be representing Encromadres with our Latino community and the 19,000 members here in Arizona with Moms Clean Air Force, with our Flagstaff mayor, Paul Deasy, Jack Fitchett, Adrian Herder, Jean Babbitt, and Dara Marks Marino. My name is Columba Sainz. I'm the field organizer for Moms Clean Air Force, a national nonprofit organization of more than 1 million moms fighting the impacts of climate change and air pollution. I, a mother of 3 little ones who love to spend time outdoors, but because of wildfires, extreme heat, and high polluted days, most days it's safer to stay indoors. Unfortunately, like so many families in Arizona, my family has also suffered the impacts of climate change. My daughter Columba, who started whizzing at the age of 3, for spending extended periods of time at the park after 2 months of being exposed to high polluted days. Low wealth communities and communities of color are more likely to live in areas with high levels of hazardous air pollution, including areas near high traffic zones and highways, because that's what our Latino communities and communities of color can afford. Pollution has been linked to a variety of health problems, including aggravating asthma and other respiratory illnesses, cardiovascular conditions, and even premature death. Our children and future generations have the right to a better and healthier planet. We need to invest in clean transportation. This is essential to meet our nation's climate goals, reducing air pollution, improving public health, and achieving environmental justice. This is why, as a mother and organizer for Moms Clean Air Force, I strongly support President Biden's promise to make meaningful investments to tackle the climate crisis, modernize our transportation, and achieve true environmental justice. Congress must act now and support investments in clean transportation. We urge our senators, Kristen Sinema and Mark Kelly, and as well as Representative Tom O'Halloran, to continue supporting clean energy growth and investment in clean electrical transportation in order to improve our public health and create economic opportunities for all Arizonans. Now I am honored to call on our Flagstaff Mayor, Paul Deasy. Thank you.
Thank you, Columba, and thank you to the Moms Clean Air Force, as well as our Act Now on Climate. Flagstaff has been a leader in climate action. In particular, a month and a half ago, when we approved the Climate Action Plan by 2030, carbon neutrality plan. We have shown our commitment, and we will see even more of a commitment now, especially as we face increased risk of natural disasters with the Rafael fire and now the museum flood that we have faced as a city. It has only furthered our resolve to do our part to fight climate or to take action on climate here in the city of Flagstaff. Right now in the United States, there's 100,000 electric charging stations for electric vehicles. And I am grateful for the plan from the Biden administration to expand that to 500,000 charging stations that will then provide the infrastructure that we need to provide the e-transit options that we need for the new era of sustainability. Not only does this provide a direct impact to help our climate action goals, but also provides indirect benefits, for example, with tourism to northern Arizona, where rural areas, our indigenous neighbors can have the electric charging stations, so those with those types of vehicles can begin to take that little bit of the longer road to see what rural America has to offer. Moreover, Flagstaff has been doing our part with new charging stations ourselves at City Hall, at the airport, and in addition, the rebate program that we have implemented to give tax rebates for those who buy hybrid and electric vehicles. Inevitably, though, this requires all government agencies at all levels. It takes non-governmental partners to see through. This is far, far larger, obviously, than just the city of Flagstaff alone. And I am grateful that we are seeing the level of movement and promises from the Biden administration to taking very bold action on this part. With that, I am urging our federal delegation, our Congress members, our senators in Arizona to ensure that we see this through to its maximum. We can't do this without you as the city of Flagstaff. And now, with what we are seeing happen to our city over the last month, we need all the support we can to take preventative measures to address our climate action and adaptation issues that we face, and see that this bold leadership from our presidency it comes to fruition. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jack Fitchett, and I'm the Business Attraction Manager for the City of Flagstaff. My role as Business Attraction Manager is exactly what it sounds like. I help identify and bring new businesses to Flagstaff that will create high-quality job opportunities for our residents and help further the overall economic development of our city. And today I would like to draw attention to something that I've learned while in this role that I believe is significant to share with you all. What has become apparent to me in this position is there are some misconceptions around whether effective economic development can occur without negatively affecting our progress towards combating the climate emergency we all currently face. That misconception is that there's a perceived dichotomy between sustainable climate action and economic development, that we can either further economic growth or take sustainable actions to address climate change, but we can't further both goals without hindering the other. However, I'm here today to tell you that this is simply not the case, and that we can have our cake and eat it too. Economic development and sustainable climate actions are not mutually exclusive. In fact, I have found while in this position, some of our city's greatest economic successes intertwine immensely with factors that contribute directly to outcomes that positively affect our climate. The city and our partners have experienced several of these successes in the last few months alone. Specifically, while in the pursuit of business attraction opportunities related to the clean transportation field. I stand here this morning thrilled and humbled that approximately 350 additional jobs will be added to the vehicle technology sector in the next 3 years, and all of these jobs will be located here in Flagstaff. This incredible economic development success was made possible due to the arrival of Whitehall Industries. Whitehall Industries is a leading automotive manufacturer that fabricates electric vehicle components for major companies like Tesla and Lucid Motors. The opening of this factory will certainly enhance the supply and availability of electric vehicles to the public, but it has also spurred job creation that has not been seen in this city for over 5 decades. This is just one recent example of how economic development and sustainable climate actions can complement one another and propel the goals of both priorities. The City of Flagstaff hopes to continue to lead by this example and capitalize on this success by continuing to prioritize clean energy and transportation sectors in our economic development and business attraction efforts, because the results speak for themselves. I would like to close by saying thank you to our Senators Kyrsten Sinema and Mark Kelly and our District Representative Tom O'Halloran, and I urge them to continue to create, recognize, and pursue clean transportation and clean energy opportunities at the federal level, because the outcome will have an immense positive impact in our local communities and economies here in Arizona, and for our planet. Thank you.
Ya'ate, my name is Adrian Herder. I'm the media organizer with Honejone Enne, also abbreviated as TNA. Honejone Enne is in support of the climate action campaign for the need for clean energy transportation infrastructure. Although Black Mesa currently does not have the infrastructure to readily support electric vehicles, it is the direction that the entire nation needs to move towards, as our nation relies heavily on the tourism industry as it brings in a fraction of our nation's economy. Congress needs to support the bold federal investments in clean transportation. We urge Senators Sinema and Kelly and Representative O'Halloran to continue supporting bold federal investments in clean energy, clean transportation to provide public health and create economic opportunity for all Americans. But if this transition to clean energy comes at the cost of other low-wealth communities and communities of color, then I highly encourage that we rethink the term clean energy. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jim Babbitt, and I am batting last, so to speak, and as such, I'm always mindful of what Arizona Congressman Morris Udall said long ago. He said, "Everything has been said, but not everyone has said it yet." So I'm going to be brief and try not to repeat too much of what everybody else has said. I'm here to describe the effects of carbon pollution and the climate crisis on Flagstaff and on families and on businesses, and then to join the call to Congress to pass a big bill that makes bold investments to tackle climate change, modernize our transportation sector, and accelerate the transition to clean energy. Make no mistake about it, there is a climate crisis. Look around us, it's all around us, from the historic low levels in Lake Powell and Lake Mead, the drying of the Colorado River. Even the Great Salt Lake is drying up. There are fires raging across Oregon, California. There's a heat dome in the Northwest. Here in our own backyard, there's a historic drought that seems like it's not really going to break. So it's all around us, and it's an existential threat to all of us, to our health, to the environment, and to the indigenous peoples in particular. So the other thing I want to do is to thank Senators Kelly and Sinema and our own Representative Tom O'Halloran from Congressional District 1 for continuing to support clean energy growth and investments which will expand clean transportation infrastructure and combat climate change. I want to just say a word or two personally about my family's business and how it's been impacted by the climate crisis and the drought here in northern Arizona and across the Southwest. Our cattle ranch has had to reduce and cut back tremendously because of the drought. And so we're negatively impacted in an economic way, our family is, and so forth. So, as I say, I was going to be brief, and then I got wordy, and so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to Dara.
Hello, my name is Dara Marks Marino, and I moved to Flagstaff in the summer of 2000 with the sole purpose of riding my bicycle a whole lot so that I could be a professional mountain bike racer. At that time, there were a handful of stoplights in all of Flagstaff, and my husband and I barely had 2 nickels to rub together. Now he and I are living comfortably, and there are several dozen stoplights in town because traffic has increased so much. But I still ride my bike as much as I possibly can for both recreation and transportation. As a cyclist who is also in the highly privileged position of owning a car to drive when riding is not possible, I'm acutely aware of the many competing issues surrounding car ownership, pollution, cost, safety, access, and climate change. And I see the role that electric vehicles can play in improving some of these big issues we're facing today. To that end, I see great opportunity for federal investments in cleaner transportation and energy technologies leading to cleaner air. These 3 things are all critical environmental justice issues. All too often, our most vulnerable and at-risk community members live in the most polluted areas, such as near busy roads, are stuck driving the oldest and most polluting vehicles, and are least able to respond to the impacts from climate change. Polluted air increases the risks for asthma and cancer, which increases healthcare costs and lowers quality of life. Driving inefficient internal combustion vehicles costs more at both the gas pump and the mechanic shop. And here in the Southwest, climate change is increasing the risk of death from high temperatures, increasing the risk of wildfires and post-fire flooding, and diminishing our water supplies, all of which weigh heaviest on our most vulnerable populations. EVs address many of these issues. They lead to far cleaner air and greatly reduced carbon pollution, especially when coupled with smart charging technology that can sync charging times with clean energy. They reduce fuel costs and have lower costs of ownership in the long run. It's really important to remember that switching to EVs is only part of the solution. We must simultaneously reduce vehicle miles traveled, or we'll be causing a whole other set of environmental justice issues. Besides making our transportation network more bike-centric, one of the ways to do this is to invest heavily in our public transportation system, making it not only zero pollution, but the preferred mode of travel for non-bicycle trips. Electrifying school bus fleets is a particularly impactful way to improve both air quality and protect the health of our community's children. Senator Sinema, Senator Kelly, and Representative O'Halloran, climate change is our most immediate and existential environmental justice issue, and we must move quickly in scaling up investments in clean energy, EVs, and smart charging technology, building out EV infrastructure, and stimulating the market for EVs so that the upfront costs come down quickly. Financial investment in EVs and clean energy will directly lead to job growth and economic development. It's time to support bold federal investments in clean energy and transportation and create a better future for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And I think the message we want to send today is pretty clear. We want big and bold federal investments. As a mother, I just want my children to spend more time outdoors. As an organizer for Moms Clean Air Force, our mothers always ask us, what can I do to make a change and impact in my community? And I say, we can all use our voices to speak about environmental justice. Because we only, as moms, we only want a better world, a healthier environment for our children, so they can thrive and be successful. And we need clean air for that. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.